Hey everybody, welcome to Junction City Today. I am your host, Craig Bielik. You see me a lot. And today my guest is Mayor Ben Nadolski, okay, who maybe you don't see as much as you see of me, but you probably want to talk to him anyway, because what we have today is your questions. I have a list of questions that have been sent to the mayor, and what we thought we would do today for this program is go over those questions and answer what is on your mind. So remember, if you do have a question, feel free to send it over and we'll have it addressed. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You are ready for the questions, is that right?
I think
and
so.
this question actually could have come from me, but what I want to know and what this person wants to know is the update on the recently demolished apartment building on 25th. It was up and then it was down. So now what is happening?
So the original building that was torn down was torn down because it wasn't built right. And it was approved under past ordinances. But there's entitlements related to that project that are still somewhat valid. And so my role since taking office was to make sure that project was built right. So now that it's down, it's back in the planning phase to go back up in the appropriate and correct way to make sure that there's a contractor or builder that's on the job, that knows what they're doing, that gets it done right, that protects the city, protects our assets and our history, and make sure that we are proceeding in a way that is durable for the long term.
Okay, so nothing to announce just yet, but you're in the process.
Right. Yeah, I don't know quite what the timelines are, but I've always signaled that this is not a project that just went away. It's a building that went away because it was built wrong. So we've got to proceed, and I just want to make sure that we're proceeding right, that it's safe, that it's fire resistant, that's protective of the history and the assets next door.
Sure.
And it's built in a way that we're trying to work in some more improvements to the exterior of the building to make sure that it fits even more within the context of the setting on 25th Street.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hopefully that answers that question. And the next one's actually kind of related because we're wondering what is going on. Wondering, it's a pun, get it? We're wondering what's going on with the Wonder Block development and how that is going to fit in with the historic, aesthetic of the downtown area.
Right. So actually, and we'll get to I think we're going to get to the Marshall White as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hopefully you're starting to see.
Yes, we are, as a matter of fact. A little farther down the list.
Yeah, I can see it on the list, but I know that hopefully people are starting to see that projects are going vertical.
Okay.
That's been a really big emphasis for me since taking office is what are the projects that have lingered for a long time, aren't providing services or aren't providing revenues for the community. And we put a lot of effort, and the team has been really busy making sure that those projects get vertical. So you're starting to see Wonder Block come out of the ground.
Yes.
And that was a huge team effort to make happen.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of the work that the team has done to get us to this point. And you'll start to see that the parking structure will come up first. That'll help facilitate more access to 25th Street and the surrounding downtown area. And then you'll start to see the amenities and the housing portion of the project come up around the parking. And that'll provide more mass and more density for not just for the parking, but for to create create demand, create opportunities for people to use in our downtown. So it'll fit within the historical context because it's been designed to. The appearance and the architecture and the design, etc., all of the materials that are used, they're all very purposeful to make sure that it fits within the context of its place. So you'll start to see more of those elements as we get further down in the project. But right now you're starting to see a parking structure come out of the ground.
I saw that. I've actually seen it with my own two eyes.
Yep.
I was down at that new Cafe Mercantile there on the corner of 25th and Grant a couple of days ago, and I could see it coming up there. And it's thrilling to me. I mean, I'm a lifelong resident of Ogden area, and it's great to see this all being reborn.
It is.
You're excited, I can tell.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big relief when the pressure's on you and it's your responsibility to make sure this thing goes vertical. It's really great to bring the team together, put the players in place to succeed and to watch them work together towards success. It's a great feeling.
Okay.
But also with that parking structure, you'll start to see it's the later versions that wrap around the parking structure that provided for that historical context and the nature and the way that it looks and fits within our city. that comes next.
Right. So the parking will be there, okay,
Yes.
and it might look a little out of place, but don't panic because
At first,
the
yeah.
other things are
Yeah,
coming.
the key is to
right around the
wrap
corner.
it with other looks. And other
Well, I'm going to
uses.
allow you to skip ahead then on the agenda because you mentioned Marshall White, and why don't we talk about Marshall White while we're on the subject? Because that's downtown Ogden also.
Yeah, and it's consistent with the theme of making sure that the projects that we've approved and that we're investing in are going vertical.
Yeah.
Marshall White Center is not going to provide services for our community until it's operational. So again, the same team working together to make sure that all of the contracts are in place, that all the contractors and subcontractors are doing what they need to do. It's really coming along. You're starting to see a lot of progress there. So that's really exciting to see because that's such an important part of stabilizing that neighborhood, but also providing services for the broader community.
Right. That's great. What about, what if someone out there watching right now, maybe you right there, wants to get involved wants to have a voice in zoning in our area? How do they go about doing that? Is there a way a citizen can voice their concerns or their desires about how property is being zoned, even if it's not, say, next to their house or something like that?
Right. So, like, if we were to just break this down into two different things,
Okay.
you could have a voice on the day-to-day zoning. Sometimes there are proposed changes for small areas where there's something that's being proposed right now. But that's not really the most exciting part. That's something that you have to do until we get to the point where we have a general plan, which is the city's plan and the zoning and the ordinances that set a template for what we want to become. That's the process that we're launching. In fact, I got a meeting after this to go welcome our steering committee and thank them for their participation.
Yeah.
But this is a generational planning opportunity that people have an opportunity to participate in. And we're going to be shaping the future of Ogden for the next 20 years through this process.
Sure.
And if you want to lend your voice to that, now's the time. So
Okay.
we've got a questionnaire that's available out to the public right now. It'll be out there until the end of the month. That's going to help set the stage for the next steps, which is a big public launch and kickoff. We're going to have a steering committee of really broad community members giving us advice and input along the way. There'll be a really robust community engagement process. It's going to be a really exciting process, but it's really going to be an exciting end product because we can finally come together as a community, decide what we want to be. And that's one of the first things we do is we collectively shape what our vision is and what we want to become. And we put it down on paper, build a plan with zoning and ordinances to help us get us there, and off we go.
Wow. Wow. So there is an opportunity for people to voice and all throughout the whole process.
Right.
It's not like you can just say it once and then it's stuck. You can keep going.
Right. There's a questionnaire right now. There's going to be a launch. There'll be many, many opportunities for engagement along the way. You're going to see them all over the place. We're putting a lot of bandwidth into making sure people are aware and have an opportunity to engage.
Right. So you do want voice, you do want to hear from folks, which leads me to my next question is something that you don't want, and that is vandalism. I just saw in the news that Ogden Police Department is offering awards for a little bit of help with some parks and recs things that have recently been vandalized. Right. And do you have information on that? You want to share something about that? I kind of have a little skin in the game because a piece of art by one of my friends was spray painted over, vandalized, and I know how hard he worked on it, and I know that it was a beautiful thing to see, and I just wish people wouldn't.
I do too.
Yeah.
And so I guess let's start with some background. Our parks are treasured places, the places that we want to invest in, we want to spend time in, places that are great for families. These open spaces are important for our mental health, our community health, and for our future. And those opportunities are being taken from us by people that are vandals.
Yeah.
They're predators on these opportunities for our people. And we are spending a lot of money to build new bathrooms, to build accommodations for our community, and to take care of these parks. And all of that is being undermined by a very select few people. We want to find out who they are, and we want to remove that from the equation because we've got to make room for our people to use the assets that we provide.
Right.
So
Well,
really
make sure.
frustrating.
So if you have information out there, if you know anything about the recent vandalism or any vandalism that's been taking place in Ogden City, call the Ogden City Police, right?
That's correct.
And there is a reward.
There is a reward, and I'm really proud of the team because Public Services and our Parks Division are working with our police officers and our Community Policing Division to make sure that we have a plan in place to patrol, but also to engage the help of the community. Everybody's got an opportunity to help, and if they see something, we need them to say something. We don't want them to go out and engage. That's for our officers to handle, right?
Sure. We want people to be safe.
Yes. But our
Absolutely.
officers are ready to respond. They're aware of the problem. They're working on it themselves. And if the call comes in, they're going to get there as fast as they can. And if we catch somebody and it leads toward conviction, and that information was helpful for the conviction, there is a $1,000 reward
Wow.
to help. And that's a small price to pay for the
Wow.
big opportunities that we're trying to
Yeah.
provide.
Boy, that's really nice. And of course, tips are anonymous, and your information is protected.
Tips can be anonymous if you want. If you just want to solve the problem, that'd be great. Let's get your tips in there. But if you want to participate in the reward, we need to know who you are.
Right.
But also, our police do a really good job of protecting people's identity to make sure that they're safe
Right.
for calling in these kinds of things.
That's cool. Let's talk about something fun.
Okay,
the Ogden Airport. I want to hear about the Ogden Airport. Okay. There is a lot to talk about with the Ogden Airport.
There is.
I mean, there's a lot for you to talk about anyway, but the Ogden Airport is like getting up in the sky, I guess is the way to put it.
I guess. So I would say the most fun part of the airport right now is an opportunity to fly to California.
Okay.
To go to
right.
Disneyland, or for those that are in that area to come back.
Breeze Airways, right?
Breeze Airlines
Yep.
is flying to the Santa Ana area to the John Wayne Airport 4 times a week. Flights are going really, really well. They're really affordable. It's a great opportunity for families to participate, but it's also proven to be a great opportunity for residents outside of Ogden to come here to take advantage of our recreation and our skiing, spend their money here,
Right.
help our local businesses, etc., and then go back home.
Right.
It's been a really great
Affordably.
very
too.
affordably.
Yeah, very
which then
much.
leaves more money in their pockets to spend here. Right?
To spend here.
Right.
Can leave with us. Yeah, in my notes here, I can see that you can buy tickets at the counter with no processing fee. Okay, which can save you between $12 and $20 per ticket. And
Which is a little known fact.
right.
So on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
if you go in person between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., there will be a ticket agent there for Breeze Airways,
Okay.
and they will book your flights and they'll remove the processing fees.
Wow.
So yeah, about $10 to $20 saved per ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're traveling with a family, that adds up.
Oh, sure. That's lunch, dinner, and
Exactly.
if you got a big family, that's the whole hotel room for the night.
Right.
You know, just to save that much. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a little known opportunity that people can take advantage of,
Yeah.
and we hope that they do.
Yeah. Well, as we're sitting here, they are getting ready for the Twilight Series concert in downtown Ogden, which is a runaway success that, started a few years ago, and people had their fingers crossed, and it far exceeded their expectations. I imagine you'll probably be there, but what is your favorite Ogden summer event?
Oh.
Because summer's coming up, and there's a lot. But if you had to choose one, just one favorite.
So I walked past the amphitheater on the way here.
Uh-huh.
They're setting up the stage and the sound.
Yep.
Security's there.
It's exciting.
All the bells and whistles are out. So it is exciting. It creates a buzz
Yep.
downtown. It's fun. And when that place is full of people, it's more than a buzz. It's big. The energy is phenomenal.
Oh, I've been there, and the music is pumping, and everybody's jumping up and
Yes.
down in the air. And, the crowd looks 4 times the size it actually is, but it's a big crowd anyway.
It's a big crowd.
It's
but
fun.
It's an incredible venue. So if you haven't gotten tickets yet, get your tickets. Come downtown.
It's in fun.
But for my favorite
Yeah.
downtown, I have to say, I'm gonna have to go with the marathon.
The marathon,
Yeah.
which is, as we sit, they are also preparing
on
for the marathon
Correct.
right now, the Ogden Marathon. Yeah, I was on the committee to start the Ogden Marathon years and years ago.
We had this talk.
And we worried that we would have a really hard time getting people to participate. And now,
Now it's famous.
I know it sells out. You can't, you're lucky to get in sometimes. Yeah.
In fact, a few nights ago, they host a legacy dinner, and that's for legacy runners. It's for people that have participated a certain number of years, and they've got runners that have participated every year.
Yeah.
And they tell us they come back because it's special. It's
Yeah.
different. and they tell everybody that they know in their community and in their circles.
Yeah.
That if you're going to run a marathon, you got to run the Ogden Marathon.
Wow.
And it's honestly, it's because of not just the setting, which is world class, beautiful,
Right.
but it's the way they feel when they run, and that comes from our people.
Right.
It's the energy at the aid stations, and it's the energy of the volunteers and the race organizers, the employees of Goal Foundation, all of the supporters through
Yeah.
OPD and the county, and then you get to the downtown finish line. The energy's fantastic. It's really positive environment. It's an environment that people want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And that's us. That's Ogden.
Yeah.
And that's what brings them back.
Yeah. If you can't run, come down and just watch the finish line, because that's
Exactly.
pretty fun. Exactly. Or helping the aid stations or whatever. We have good people in this
Right.
community. We really do.
Yeah, if you want to participate or volunteer or spectate,
Yeah.
there's a place for you in the Ogden Marathon downtown, and it's this Saturday.
Right here in Ogden.
Right here in Ogden.
Yep.
right.
Okay, last question, and this is kind of a funny one because it's somebody wants to know: did you get a chance to catch the aurora borealis here in Ogden?
Kind of.
Kind of. Oh, wait a minute, you either did or you didn't. I mean,
Well,
what?
Not really.
Kind of, really?
So I did go out to look for it.
Yeah.
It was the second night when it was not quite as impressive.
That's what I did too.
Right.
The second night. Yeah.
So this is where it's kind of embarrassing, but I went out to go check it out, and I was like, I don't see much.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a haze.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't until the next day that I found out you had to use your phone,
Your phone.
to really see it.
You're telling my story exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
told everybody about it happening the first night, and then I forgot and went to bed. Okay. And then the second night, after I saw everybody's pictures and everything, I was like, oh, I got to get out there. And I was like, I don't see anything.
I don't see much.
And then the same thing, everybody told me you have to use your phone.
So did I see it? Yes. Was it as magical as what I saw online the next morning? No.
No.
So I was like, well, I guess I didn't stay up late enough.
Yeah.
And that's probably partly true,
Wow.
but I just didn't use my phone to see it.
Yeah.
So kind of another big miss.
Of course. Well, it's supposed to come around another 300 years or whatever, so we should be okay. We should be okay.
Answer, but
Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I like that these are questions from the community because I have a lot of questions I want to ask you, but I'd rather that the folks out there that are watching this get involved and ask the questions that they need to ask you. So how can they send a question? How can they get a question to you?
So we're actually, right now we're pulling questions off a lot of different forums.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a number of different social media channels. We also get a lot of emails both to the mayor's office and to different departments.
Mm-hmm.
So what my staff's doing is trying to find themes within the questions that were being asked so that we can try and help answer as many people's
Right.
questions as we can.
Right.
There's always going to be really refined questions on certain one-offs, but we want to make sure that we're providing information for as many people as possible. So big shout out to the staff for
There you go.
mining all those questions and putting together the themes for us today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I forget to mention your staff, but we do appreciate your questions. Mayor Ben wants to hear them. He wants to answer them, and we do appreciate you watching us here on Junction City today. Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm just happy to be here. I appreciate that you invited me back.
Oh, yeah, we want you
I
back.
hope you'll invite me back again.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate the help of the staff that are.
Listen, if they invite me back again, they're bound to invite somebody that's interesting on that. Well, on that great note, we'll let you guys go. And thank you for watching Junction City today. Again, send the mayor your questions. He wants to hear from you. He wants to make sure that you are involved in what's going on in Ogden City because this is your community, and let's make it the way you want, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.